Alright kids, listen up, this is an important lesson. So we're here talking about what it means to be an androgyne. And actually, I'm pretty shy and I'm kind of scared about the walls being a little too thin here in my dorm. So sorry if I talk a little bit quietly. So anyway, so what the hell is an androgyne? So I guess first of all we'll get into its mother category, which is what is a genderqueer. And just as a preface, this is, I'm not a professional like gender educator or anything like that. This is based on my own personal experience as being a genderqueer androgyne and what I've read online and seen on other YouTube videos of people who also identify as genderqueer and androgyne. So, this is just in case you've come across the term and you have no idea what it is and you just want to know, or maybe if you're questioning your gender identity, hopefully this information can help you out a bit. So let's start off, get comfy here. Let's start off with what is a genderqueer. So most people in the world are what we call cisgendered, which means that their gender corresponds to their physical sex. So most people who are born with male genitalia and with the Y chromosome, their brains develop in a way that they feel is consistent with what it means to be a member of the male gender. They like to enjoy the company of other males, and when they are with other males, they feel that they are in kinship, they are part of a group, and they share similar, brain functions, and just the way they are is just very similar. Same thing with females. If you're a cisgendered female, if you're born with boobs and a vagina, well, you're not born with boobs, that would be freaky, but if you eventually grow boobs and you're born with a vagina and you have two X chromosomes, and you're cisgendered, it means that you consider yourself a woman. You feel that your brain operates in a manner similar to other women. So that's the majority of people. Then on the direct other side, we have transgendered people who feel that their gender, their sense of their gender identity, is exactly or pretty closely opposite to their physical sex. So if they were born a male, they feel that they're actually a female in their brain and the way that they identify. So they typically, not all the time, but they typically want to become accepted in society as the gender that they feel they are on the inside, and they might try to look like the other sex that they were not born as through, hormone therapy or clothing or hairstyle or any of that stuff. That is the exact opposite of being cisgender. Being genderqueer is somewhere in the middle of those two. Basically, if you're genderqueer, your brain is not in perfect harmony with your body, but it's also not in complete conflict with it either. It's kind of in the middle. Genderqueers basically identify as something other than male or female, and there are a ton of different subcategories under genderqueer. You can look a bunch of those up if you're interested, but the way that I identify, and my topic of my video today, is androgyne, which is one of the many subcategories under genderqueer. So most people know what being androgynous means. A person who looks androgynous is somebody who kind of blends features of what we would consider male and female, so that when you look at them, there's a little bit of a confusion as to what their physical sex is. So it might be like a girl, a female-bodied person with small or no breasts and short haircut. That might be confused for someone who was born a male, or you can't really tell. Or perhaps it's a male who has, very feminine features and long hair and maybe wears kind of more feminine clothes. That has almost nothing to do with the gender identity of being androgyne. It's related because a lot of people who identify as androgyne also like to have an androgynous appearance, but that's a personal decision. And many people who look androgynous are actually cisgendered, or they may even be transgendered. So they're related, but not totally connected. So, like somebody who looks androgynous, who, when you look at them, you don't know if they're male or female, a person who has a androgyne gender identity is someone who feels either both male and female or neither male or female. Personally, I think androgyne goes best with feeling both male and female, but I know that there are people who do use the label who identify as neither gender. So I've seen people use the term that they're 0% male and 0% female. The way I look at it is that I'm 100% male and 100% female. And I kind of use, like when I was in high school, I went to a Christian high school my last 2 years, and we learned that Jesus was not half God or half man. He was 100% God and 100% man. That's what they told us. And in the same way as a bisexual, even though really I'm actually pansexual, but as a bisexual, I am not half attracted to women and half attracted to men. I am attracted 100% to both women and men in different ways, but, you know, I'm attracted to women more physically and men more emotionally, but I am, you know, I'm not like half of a person in either of those senses. So, an androgyne, at least in my case, I feel that I am both male and female, but that I am not completely either male or female, if that makes sense. So maybe more like 75% of both, which is 150%, but anyway. So the way that I know this, you know, it's not really because of any style of dress or any, you know, activities I like to do, because those things are really just basically like constructs of culture. You know, wearing a dress is not inherently female. Being into sports and video games is not inherently male. But I feel, I mean, there are inherent differences in the ways that male and female brains work, which can lead into your different interests and your strengths and weaknesses. But you know, it's not like a cause and effect kind of thing. It's just kind of a mishmash of stuff. But so it's not to do with you know, just because I don't like to wear dresses or skirts and I don't like to wear makeup, you know, that doesn't make me an androgyne. What makes me an androgyne is that I look at females or other female-bodied people who are usually cisgendered. I look at them, I look at the way that they act and the way that they think, and I constantly have this feeling that I have similarities with that, but that is not entirely my identity, and that I'm a little bit different. And it's the same thing when I look at males. You know, I feel that I'm different from them, but I also feel that I have a lot of similarities with them in the way that I think. And, you know, once again, that's not because of clothing or because of dress or because of interests. I'm not really explaining it very well. It's just something I know. Yeah, I'll probably have to come up with a couple of follow-up videos of questions people are going to be asking, because you know, I'm not really explaining it very well, I guess. It's a lot more in-depth than this, but this is just an intro anyway. So, as I was talking about before, with physical androgyny, a lot of people who have an androgyne gender identity like to look a little bit in between genders, and but going back to the whole behavior thing, I have a feeling that androgynes are what child psychologists would call gender aschematic. I'm a psychology major, and I'm right now taking a childhood psychology class, and we covered this notion of the formation of gender identity. And, you know, there are a lot of children who, when they first learn the concepts of gender, they are what they call gender schematic, which is that they think, am I a boy or a girl? What do boys or girls do? And I'm going to do exactly what my gender does. So A boy might come across a doll and think, well, I'm a boy and boys don't play with dolls, so I'm not going to play with the doll. Whereas a gender aschematic child will look at the doll and they won't think, is it for girls or boys? They'll think, do I like this toy? And if they like it, then they'll play with it. I think that kind of factors into a little bit of what androgynes are like, because, you know, I don't care if something that I do is not consistent with me being physically female. I really don't care at all. I do what I like to do. And I know that a lot of people probably think that they are that way, but I think gender is, especially in our culture, is, you know, it's everywhere. It's hard to get away from it, and you know, I think a lot of people are raised or just on themselves come up with the idea that there are certain things they can and can't do based on their gender. And I guess I'm kind of equating it with feminism, but it's not really feminism, because it's not about what you do, it's about what you feel. And androgynes don't feel male or female. And I'm sure there's a lot of biological bases to this, which I will address in another video because we are closely running out of time here. So hope this was informative. I know that I probably didn't explain it all that well, but if you have any questions or anything I didn't address, drop a comment. I'll either respond or I'll make a new video if it's a pretty big topic. So, bye.